Listen, imagine this. You're standing in the middle of a crowded airport. Terminal 3. People are rushing past you like a river that never stops. You're holding 2 heavy suitcases. Your boarding pass is in your pocket, and in your hand, a one-way ticket to a life you don't fully recognize yet. Your heart is beating fast. Not because you're afraid of flying, but because you're afraid of what comes after landing. The unknown, the new streets, the new faces, the new version of you. Most people dream about moving to a new country. They imagine the dream car, the freedom, the quiet mind, a better life. But then, the plane lands, and reality hits hard.
Suddenly, your English feels sluggish. The noise around you feels distracting, and you feel like a small fish in a very big pond. Today, we're going deep. This isn't just another episode about travel tips. This is about transformation, the mental battle, the cultural shocks, and the real-life English you need when you finally step outside and begin your first real day in a foreign land. This is English Made Real with Zach. Let's get into it.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Zach. Today's episode is specially designed for our B2 learners. So throughout this podcast, you're going to hear natural phrasing, real-life collocations, and idiomatic expressions that people actually use in everyday conversations. The kind of English you hear in airports, cafes, workplaces, and late-night conversations with friends. Not the kind buried inside boring grammar books. By the end of this episode, you'll have the vocabulary to talk about your move, manage your daily routine, and explain the pros and cons of starting a new life in another country. And trust me, stay with me until the very end, because I'm going to share one powerful mindset shift that could completely change the way you look at your English progress forever.
Let's start at the very beginning, the departure. Moving to a new country feels spectacular, almost unreal, like standing at the edge of a completely different life. But at the same time, it's exhausting. Mentally, emotionally, physically. I still remember the first time I moved. My suitcase was over the limit at the scale. 24 kilograms. The airport worker looked at me, and I just stood there thinking, seriously? Right now? I was nervous. Very nervous. I kept checking my to-do list over and over again. Passport? Check. Tickets? Check. Phone charger? Check. Courage? Maybe. And then comes the airport hustle. The moment you walk inside, everything feels massive. Bright lights, moving screens, people everywhere. It almost feels like a giant shopping mall mixed with controlled chaos. You have to find the airline counter, drop off your luggage, go through security, listen carefully for announcements, and somehow try not to panic. You'll hear expressions like checked luggage, boarding pass, terminal, gate number. And honestly, those words are the easy part. The real challenge is the turbulence inside your mind, not outside the plane, inside you. Because once the excitement fades, the questions begin. What if I fail? What if people don't understand my English? What if I made the wrong decision? This is what I call the maybe trap. A lot of people move abroad carrying a suitcase full of maybes. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I'll find a good job. Maybe my English is good enough. But listen carefully.
maybe can quietly steal years of your life. It keeps people stuck, frozen, waiting for confidence before taking action. And confidence rarely comes first. Action comes first. If you want to survive in places like New York, London, or San Jose, you need to become intentional. Not perfect, intentional. You need a tiny plan, a simple direction. Because life without direction feels like driving with no address in your GPS. You keep moving, but somehow you just drive in circles. And then, finally, you land. That moment changes something inside you. You're not just a tourist anymore. You become a little explorer. Everything feels unfamiliar. The streets, the sounds, even the silence feels different. And yes, you're going to make mistakes. Some of them will feel embarrassing. You might get lost inside your hotel. You might misunderstand someone and become frustrated. You might even react emotionally, like Peter in that New York story. But here's the truth nobody talks about enough. Scared people sometimes do foolish things. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. So if you get lost, stay calm. Take a breath. Walk to the front desk. Ask for help. One sentence at a time. One small moment of courage at a time. Remember this. If an 8-year-old can learn to be brave, so can you. Okay, you've arrived. The plane ride is over. The adrenaline is fading. And now the jet lag finally hits you. You're sitting in a new apartment. Maybe it's small. Maybe the walls still feel unfamiliar. Quiet. Empty. And now comes the real question. What happens next? This is where most people fail. Not because they're lazy, not because they're incapable, but because they keep waiting for motivation to magically appear. They tell themselves, I'll start my routine later. I'll exercise later. I'll practice English later. I'll organize my life later. But honestly, later is one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. Because later slowly becomes never. That's why your mornings matter so much, especially in a new country. Your morning routine quietly shapes your emotions, your focus, and even your confidence. If you wake up already feeling rushed and distracted, the rest of the day usually follows the same pattern. But if you begin your morning slowly, calmly, with intention, everything changes. Even something simple, like drinking a big glass of water first thing in the morning, can make you feel hydrated, clear-headed, and focused. So let's talk about a realistic B2 level routine. Not perfection, just stability. Something that helps you feel settled. Wake up at 7 o'clock. And please, don't hit the snooze button 5 times for the next hour. Get up. Open the curtains. Stretch your arms and legs. Wake your body up gently. Then comes the bathroom ritual. Brush your teeth slowly and carefully. Wash your face with cold water. That little shock of cold water instantly helps you feel awake, more alive. Then breakfast. Don't skip it. Seriously. Even something simple like oatmeal or eggs is enough. And if you've already been running around all morning, maybe this becomes breakfast number 2. That's okay too. Before leaving the apartment, pause for 1 minute. Check your calendar. Look at your meetings, your appointments, your responsibilities. Just remind yourself where your day is heading. Here's a personal tip from me. When I first moved, the first thing I used to do every morning
was check my phone. Messages, notifications, social media. Honestly, terrible habit. It drained my energy before the day even started. It's a time thief. Now, I try to do something different. Sometimes I just sit quietly for a minute. I listen to birds singing outside. I enjoy the peaceful moment before the city becomes busy and noisy. That small moment of silence changes my whole mood. And then comes the commute. Maybe you go by bus. Maybe you ride a bike. Maybe you walk to work. Whatever the situation is, you have something valuable. Pocket time. Pocket time is those tiny hidden moments during the day. 3 minutes waiting for the bus. 7 minutes sitting in a taxi. 5 minutes standing in line somewhere. Most people throw those moments away by endlessly scrolling social media. But those small moments are like coins. Tiny coins of time. And if you waste enough small coins, eventually you waste entire years. So here's your B2 challenge. Use your pocket time wisely. Listen to a slow English podcast. Read 5 lines from a story. Review vocabulary while walking. Little by little, day after day, this is how real progress happens. This is how you invest your time instead of losing it.
Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Loneliness. Because nobody really prepares you for this part. You arrive in a new city, new streets, new language, new routines. But deep down, you realize something uncomfortable. You don't really know anyone. You don't have many friends yet. You feel disconnected, almost invisible sometimes. Like you're walking through a crowd, but emotionally standing alone. And honestly, there are moments when it feels a little like Robinson Crusoe on his island. Like the only things that truly understand you are a dog or a parrot named Pole. That feeling is more common than people admit, especially in big cities.
Because city life can become a social trap. People are more independent, more isolated. Everyone is busy. Everyone relies on themselves. It's very different from village life, where neighbors know each other, people stop to talk, and strangers can still feel friendly and helpful. In a big city, sometimes people barely make eye contact. And if you're already feeling insecure about your English, that silence feels even heavier. You might start feeling shame, anxiety, self-doubt. Then you open Instagram, and suddenly everyone else seems happier than you. Better apartment, better clothes, better life. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin hating yourself for not being there yet. Stop. Seriously, stop right there. Comparison is destroying your peace. You're comparing your behind-the-scenes life to someone else's highlight reel.
You're watching their best moments while judging yourself during your hardest ones. That's not reality. That's emotional torture. So instead of comparing, focus on connecting. Real human connection changes everything. Start small. Join a community, an English learning group, a book club, a gym, an art class, anything that gets you around real people. Because language grows faster around human energy, not isolation. And remember this rule carefully. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about that for a second. If you surround yourself with negative people, people who constantly complain, people with no motivation, eventually their mindset becomes your mindset.
energy spreads, attitudes spread, habits spread. So choose your environment carefully. Now, here's the good news. You don't need to become extremely charismatic overnight. You just need one simple skill: small talk. That's it.
Small talk is one of the most powerful social tools in the English-speaking world. And honestly, most conversations begin with simple questions. What movies have you seen lately? What do you usually do on weekends? Do you prefer village life or city life? Simple questions, simple moments, but they open doors. So don't hide in silence because you're afraid of making mistakes. Speak anyway. Even imperfect English creates opportunities. And here's one more real spoken English tip for you. When someone asks, "How's it going?" don't automatically say, "I'm fine." That answer ends the conversation immediately. Instead, show a little personality. Say something like, "I'm doing great, but I had a really busy morning." Or, "I'm a little tired today, but I'm surviving." That tiny extra detail makes you sound human, natural, real. And that's how real conversations begin. For many people, moving to a new country isn't just about adventure. It's about opportunity, a better future, a better salary, a better job, maybe even a completely new version of yourself. And eventually, after the airport chaos, after the paperwork, after the awkward first weeks, real life begins. Work life, the office environment, the professional world. And honestly, this is where many English learners suddenly feel pressure. Because casual English is one thing. Professional English feels different. Faster, sharper, more demanding. You start work at 9 a.m. You sit at your desk, open your computer, check your emails, reply to messages, write reports, attend meetings. And suddenly your brain is trying to translate everything at full speed. It can feel exhausting at first, especially when everyone around you sounds confident and relaxed. But little by little, your ears adapt, your vocabulary grows, and the workplace starts feeling less intimidating. You come home exhausted. You throw yourself onto the sofa. Then suddenly, you're watching random videos until 2 in the morning, and now your sleep schedule is destroyed again. Instead, try to wind down properly. Read a few pages of a book. Drink a cup of herbal tea. Take a quiet walk. Listen to soft music. Give your mind a chance to breathe. Because rest is not laziness. Real rest helps you recharge. And when you recharge properly, you show up stronger the next day. All right, now we're getting deep. This is the part that separates the people who stay from the people who eventually give up and go back home. Because at some point, this journey stops being about airports, jobs, or vocabulary. It becomes mental. Everything depends on your mindset. And here's the truth. You are going to make mistakes. A lot of them. Not 5 mistakes, not 10, probably 100, maybe more. You'll say the wrong word. You'll misunderstand conversations. You'll feel confused sometimes, embarrassed sometimes, awkward sometimes. That's normal. Because growth lives outside your comfort zone. Nobody grows while hiding. Nobody becomes fluent by staying silent forever. Now, this is where mindset changes everything. People with a fixed mindset say things like, "I'm just not a language person. My pronunciation is terrible. I'll never sound natural." That mindset builds a prison inside your head.
But people with a growth mindset speak differently.
They say, I'm improving every day. I'm learning. I'm getting stronger with practice. See the difference? One mindset closes the door. The other keeps walking forward. And honestly, there will be many days when your feelings work against you. You won't feel motivated. You won't feel confident. You won't feel excited to study English after a long, stressful day. Especially when you're tired, broke, lonely, or emotionally defeated. That's why you can't build your future only on feelings, because feelings change constantly. Sometimes, feelings are liars.
This is where willpower matters. And willpower works like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. You show up anyway, even on difficult days. You practice speaking every day, even if your vocabulary still feels small. Even if you only know 521 words. And honestly, that's enough to start changing your life. Because fluency is not about memorizing 170,000 words. Nobody speaks perfectly all the time. Real fluency comes from confidence, repetition, consistency, connection. If people understand you, you are already succeeding. Never forget that.
So, how do you actually become fluent while living in a new country? Not textbook fluent, not exam fluent. I mean real fluency. The kind that helps you order food naturally, make friends, handle problems, and speak without freezing every 5 seconds. Well, it starts with practice that feels alive. Not passive learning, real interaction with the language. And one of the most powerful techniques you can use is shadowing. Honestly, it's one of my favorite methods. Here's how it works. You listen carefully to native English, and then you immediately copy the sound, like an echo. Not just the words, the rhythm, the stress, the emotion, the music of the language. You imitate the flow, the pauses, the energy. That's why shadowing works so well. Because fluency is not only vocabulary, it's sound and rhythm too.
Now here's another huge secret. Start thinking in English. Stop translating every sentence inside your head first. That habit slows you down mentally. Instead, begin with very simple thoughts. Tiny thoughts. The sky is blue. I need coffee. I'm tired. I should leave now. Simple. Natural. Small thoughts slowly become faster thinking, and faster thinking becomes smoother speaking. And then there's reading aloud. This one is incredibly underrated. Reading silently improves recognition, but reading aloud trains your speaking muscles. It's like going to the gym, but for your mouth, your pronunciation, and your confidence. The more you read aloud, the more natural English begins to feel inside your body, not just inside your memory. And remember this carefully. Practice makes progress, not perfection. Progress. Because perfect English does not suddenly appear one magical day. Honestly, perfect never really comes. Even native speakers make mistakes constantly. The goal is communication, connection, confidence. So don't wait until you feel ready. Speak now. Practice now. Grow now. You didn't waste your time today. You invested it. And that matters. Because every minute you spend improving yourself quietly changes your future. Moving to a new country is a lot like climbing a mountain. Some days feel exciting, some days feel exhausting. And honestly, there will be moments when you want to stop. Moments when you question yourself.
Moments when you wonder if all this effort is really worth it. But one day, you'll pause for a second, look behind you, and realize how far you've already come. The version of you who first boarded that plane is not the same person listening right now. You've grown. Even if the progress feels slow, even if nobody else notices it yet. And I need you to remember something. You are far more powerful than you think. There's strength inside you that hasn't fully awakened yet. You are a storm waiting to rise. So keep going. One conversation at a time. One mistake at a time. One brave step at a time. And if this episode helped you in any way, please subscribe to English Made Real with Zach. Hit the like button and share this episode with someone who's afraid of failure. Someone who needs a reminder that growth is possible. Keep listening. Keep speaking. And most importantly, keep believing in yourself. I'm Zach. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.